Hi and welcome to this tutorial where I want to do a study of the butterfly, and I found this picture on Pinterest and I think, well, that's a nice approach to get the perspective of the butterfly in good order. So just imagine a book and the book has some pages, and you want to make sure that the angle of the pages is correct. Now I have to draw the center line, that is this diagonal, a little bit more to the left, because the right wing is quite bigger than the left wing because of the perspective. And once you get the first sheets of your book, as to speak, when you get that angles correct, then you can simply put in the wings inside those pages of the book, for instance. Now these are my pages, and then I can just search for the dividing line, because butterflies have 4 wings. In this case the butterfly has 4 wings, so this is the first right top wing, and then I can just place the lower part here underneath the top wing, and this is the center where the body sits, with the head, the body itself, and then the thinner part of the lower part of the body. So in that way, that is really in the center, and it has little segments there. And then I can see the shape of the left top wing. Now on my Patreon page I do this whole process in real time. Should you want to watch that, then you are very welcome to join me on my Patreon page. There are more than 100 tutorials there with all kinds of different techniques that you can follow. Now I have my wings in place, and what I can do next is to search for the markings that are on the wings. And there are a lot of markings, of course. Also on the body you can see the little segments there, and I simply draw those in. Oh, and by the way, I'm working on the Ami newsprint paper. That is my favorite paper for doing studies, and it's very smooth, and I want to use the blender also in this drawing. So when you want to blend in your pigments, then it's very smart to use the smoother paper, different kinds of paper, and the Ami newsprint paper is very smooth indeed. Now let's see, there are those little veins, and I want to draw them in. And this is about the layout of the veins for the first 3 wings. And this is the last one, so I look for the angles, and there are all kinds of long sloping lines, and the outer contour line is never really straight. It's a bit whimsical, so I try to keep that in mind too, of course. What is also important to get that 3D effect is to put in the shadow, which is casted by the wings on the surface below. So I'll just make a copy of the wings on the sheet that he's landing on, or she, and then I simply apply a gray value. Now this is my blender stick, and once I'm happy with the layout of my butterfly, then I can simply push in the pigments with the blender stick. I really want to get rid of all the lines, so I'm erasing my little helper lines. I have a pencil eraser, and I can simply use that as an eraser, but I also use the pencil eraser as a drawing tool. You can see that here I'm using it for the little white dots in the dark areas. So in that way well, it's just a drawing tool now. It became a drawing tool and not a correction tool. And here, well, those dots are important for this kind of butterfly. So once I have put in the white dots, I can simply go back in with the charcoal pencil, and I start copying my own drawing. And I want to get the contrast back. And once you start blending, then the contrast disappears. But you can just simply go back in and draw the contrast back. And in that way you get that very soft feel. And of course the butterfly is very, very fragile animal. And by using this technique with blending and then going back in with the charcoal pencil, I really get that soft feel. So it's a very nice technique, and I sure hope that you will give this a try, because well, it's a little bit of work, of course. You have to go back in, you have to erase, you have to start drawing around the spots you've erased. But well, the effect is really stunning, and it's actually it's only a study. The realistic effect is quite high. Well, you learn a lot from it by drawing this way. Now that I have everything in place, I take a big brush and I smooth down my drawing once again. And then I go back in with the pencil eraser for the white dots. Because I want to keep that soft feel, of course. But I do want the contrast of the white dots and the black markings on the butterfly. I can use it in the little segments on the wings. I simply draw out the charcoal pigments, and that leaves then little veins that are just visual. Clean up the surrounding a little bit. And this is a color pencil, simple color pencil. I want to put in just a little bit of color, not too much, just a very thin layer of a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. So I draw in the sun, if you like, and I will only apply it on the right side, and that's for the 3D effect. I want a little bit of shine on the body itself. I do that with simply the pencil eraser. And then I get rid of the stains a little bit. It can be stained a little bit, that gives it also a soft feel. So, well, keeping it nice and smooth. And then for the shadowy part, which is directly underneath the butterfly, I apply an extra layer of charcoal. And then just push that in again with the blender stick to get rid of the lines, so that the shadow underneath the butterfly is just a little bit darker than the outer corners of that shadow part. Then a little bit more contrast on parts of the wings, especially the right side. I want that to be more detailed than the left side, and that also applies an extra 3D effect. So that's my study, and here's a nice passepartout. I can put that in, and then I have an excellent drawing on the cheapest paper there is, but it's really nice. So a nice way to study, should you want to see the whole process in real time, just join me on my Patreon page. For now, I'd like to thank you for watching. Take care.